and we moved up to a higher vantage point, so you tell us what it does. And listen. Sounds like it's revving up its engines.
The audio you just heard is from a little-known incident in St. Helens, Oregon. March 17, 1981, before sunrise. Local police sergeant Russell Yoakum is on routine patrol down Highway 30 on the Columbia River. At 4 a.m., he noticed an intense ball of light moving upriver. Lucky for us, Yoakum had a tape recorder in his squad car as he stopped to observe. These are excerpts from that tape.
Just didn't want you to think we all had a screw loose. Got water. All go to bed. Yeah, TS, all it is now is just an orange glow. That's all I can see. That's all you can see from that? You guys still watching on the other side of the river there? Yes, sir. Just an orange glow. Where did it go to? Up to the river or what? Towards the sun just coming up. Better not be. It's awful early. Awful early for the sun paper, Joe. I don't think the sun would just be in that one spot. I meant the glow, which we can see now, looks like the breaking of the sun. Oh, yeah, right.
Within 20 minutes, another officer, Tom McCartney of Oregon State PD, could see it from a higher bluff. Yoakum and 2 other officers drove there to observe. It's at this point when strange sounds began coming from the object.
I hope you're taping this, you guys. Yes, we are. Sounds like to me a power plant diesel motor and a screeching noise in between it there, or with it. Okay, we're listening. 4:29 a.m.
Dr. J. Allen Hynek, interviewed later by the St. Helens Chronicle, investigated the noises. Quote, "The people who analyzed the tape for us say they have not heard any sound like that in nature, and it's certainly not a helicopter. It's a total puzzle." At this point in time, Hynek was director of the Center for UFO Studies in Chicago. He had already developed the Close Encounter Scale, and decades earlier had served as an advisor to 3 consecutive Air Force UFO projects: Sign, Grudge, and Blue Book. For their part, local police did what they could to investigate. They called nearby Portland International Airport, who confirmed the UFO on radar. But then something strange happened. Just 5 minutes later, airport officials called Yoakum back, telling him they denied ever seeing anything and that there was nothing. After another 60 minutes of hovering, it went up and away, according to McCartney. Almost immediately, the fog separated and there was blue sky shining through. It was eerie. So, what was this? To this day, it remains unexplained, but others in the area have reported strange experiences. Joy French, an Idaho resident, told reporters in 2008 she was staying near Lake Merwin, 50 miles east of St. Helens. She recalls riding in her car with a friend around 10 p.m. Suddenly, a flash of light filled the sky. "I could see the trees ahead of us and all around us," she said. The car stopped. Her friend got out to check the engine, and that's the last thing she remembered until the next day. Her friend backed up the story, though it is unknown if he experienced any missing time. Another civilian account comes from the National UFO Reporting Center. In late 1979, a U.S. Air Force veteran describes an encounter near Falls City, about an hour drive south of Portland. He says he and a friend were on a secluded forest road at about 6 a.m. The sun had not yet risen. All of a sudden, the two noticed a bright red orb floating through the trees. There was no road in the direction of the light, and it began moving upward above the treetops. After a few minutes, it disappeared into the clouds. That afternoon, the two were walking on a different forest road uphill when they came across a locked green metal gate. As they turned around, an unmarked truck stopped them and 2 Air Force security police got out. They yelled, "You are in a restricted area," repeatedly. The USAF veteran replied, "Hey guys, I'm on your side, and I've hunted this area for years. What's up with this?" It did nothing. They were escorted back down the road and forced to unload their firearms. He noted the men had appropriate uniforms and badges for the time period, but never determined why they were there. 60 miles to the northwest was Mount Hebo Air Force Station, a spot used for surveillance radar during the early Cold War. It was officially closed in 1980, 1 year after the encounter. But locals still told stories of Hummers, large trucks, and equipment going into the area in the 1990s, according to UFO investigator Ron Wright. Another strange, more documented situation happened 2 years ago. In late 2017, air traffic controllers noticed an unidentified object traveling rapidly near the border of California and Oregon. It flew at an altitude of about 37,000 feet, had no transponder, and did not show up on nearby planes' collision avoidance systems. It was unresponsive to radio calls. For a half hour, several airline pilots radioed ATC, saying they saw something in the sky near Mount Shasta, but couldn't make out what it was. No speed is estimated, but an Oakland controller notes it traveled very fast. FAA tapes later obtained by the Drive show the object executed an abrupt maneuver and took off north toward Portland before dropping off radar. NORAD said it scrambled F-15s with sophisticated targeting pods from Oregon to investigate, but they couldn't locate it. In a now-deleted comment, one Reddit user who claimed to be an air traffic controller said his quality assurance department was working on the case when an Air Force official from Portland called and told them to stop looking into it. He speculated the sharp turn to the north was way harder than what a commercial plane could handle without ripping the wings off. The Drive noted the commenter seemed legitimate, though obviously there's no way to confirm it now that the account is deleted. That something is flying around the skies of the Oregon wilderness cannot be debated. What exactly that is, well, that remains to be seen. What do you think? Could these sightings be somehow linked together? And what do you think of the strange UFO sounds recorded by police in 1981? Let us know in the comments.